I want to look ahead a little bit as what this sets up, because I'm looking at 2025, and boy, that's going to be a year. This is what awaits the next president. The debt limit is going to come back into play. It's going to come back to life on January 1st, 2025. At the end of 2025, a lot of the 2017 tax cuts are scheduled to expire.
Right.
And at the end of 2025, these 2-year spending caps are going to expire. So I'm just wondering, when this debt ceiling comes back to life in early 2025, I'm wondering if they're going to have the same big fight over extending it, because at that time, the Republicans will be, and many Democrats will be, wanting to extend the tax cuts, which would be a deficit increase relative to the baseline. And the Democrats, and probably many Republicans, will not want to extend the spending caps or to set them at a higher level, which would also be an increase relative to the baseline. And I'm just wondering if they will both decide that they have a reason for wanting to keep the debt limit suspended, and maybe next time it won't be such a drama. What do you think?
I think on January 1st of 2025, the Treasury Department will invoke extraordinary measures. Those extraordinary measures will carry the federal government for a certain amount of time. This year they got us from February, March, April, May, June, May. So 3.5 months. So what you'll see then is probably extraordinary measures, and then maybe a temporary suspension to the point where they can marry up the appropriations with the tax provisions, along with a discussion over the debt limit, roll it up into one big piece of legislation so that everybody's got something to say. Well, I had to hold my nose and vote for this kitchen sink piece of legislation because it had this important tax. It had tax cuts for, middle income Americans. It had tax cuts for, sole proprietors. It had tax cuts for small business in it. It had necessary spending for social safety net programs. So I had to sort of hold my nose and just accept the debt limit suspension or the debt limit increase that's also going to be part of that bill. There are just going to be too many other things in there that people can point to and say, hey, that carried my vote. And I just sort of ignored the stench of the debt limit increase that was buried in the bill, on the last page.
Yeah, it really is, the way to control the unsustainable debt is to control the unsustainable policies that produce the debt.